I do think that I was born for people. That's why I love to play clubs more than the festivals, because I'm surrounded by people, so I can shake their hands, you know, ask for a cig, you know, we are having a conversation, there is a communication happening between us. So for me, it's essential. Without it, I feel quite bored. That's why I'm not a big fan of being on a stage, so disconnected, so far away. One of my favorite places to go to play is Toronto, because promoters in Toronto, they always put a DJ like just a little bit up, but no fences, no limits, no backstage. So people are literally going around you, getting closer. It's like boiler room, but it's not boiler room. You know, this kind of like a concept. It's just one zone for everyone. We all feel equal on the same levels. People can stand on a platform, you know, dance with me, and I love it. For me, it's my favorite format of the party when I'm party myself. I don't mind to be pushed or squeezed, or you know, like I even feel more funky, like more alive when it's happening. You know, this is like a raw energy of the real party, sweaty, excited, regulations, security. Some of the parties there put the fences, it's the rule. It's like I feel like in a cage, you know, like I feel I'm in a zoo, standing in this like stage, and then there is a distance, and then there is a fence. The fence is killing the vibe. For me, it's the worst you can do to your party to put this fence. I do play many different genres. Besides house, techno, drum and bass, I also like electro, I like broken beats. When I started to play in 2005, I was playing pretty much everything. It was tribal, house, and a little bit of trance, a little bit of that. So it was like a big mix, a mashup, that we call it right now, a mashup. But back in the days, it wasn't called a mashup. It was just normal, you know. I like to keep it wide because it gives me more opportunities to do this like turnouts and turning points and play around how I can surprise the crowd, how I can switch to a completely different vibe. What I love about playing records is that you are able to witness entire track and not just 1 minute, 1 minute, 1 minute, or like this drop and this, you know, like these tools that the modern music is about right now. I love to do vinyl-only sets. When something gets trendy and I look at it and I ask myself, like, can we do it? Like, I'm talking to myself, can we do it or not? And I will try because of my curiosity. I'm a very curious person. I like to try different kind of things. But most of the times, it plays a very bad joke with me. It's good to try, it's good to experiment and test some things, but the more important is not to be trendy, but still connected to yourself, then you can just run longer. There are not so many parties that are following our values and principles, and not so much underground left as well. But I have a good example, for example, Stone Festival, right? It's a festival, it's not a small party, but what their rule is that to play their festival, you have to be a producer, or you need to run a label, or you need to somehow contribute to the scene, you know, and to the culture. Being a successful or cool DJ is not enough. You really need to give something to the scene to be able to be booked at this festival, which I think is a very good and fair filter. DJ Beauty, it's a very interesting story. Of course I didn't pick up this name. I mean, the guy who was teaching me, he said, oh, you know, I just got a name for you. I say, what? And I was just 18 years old. And he said, yeah, you're gonna be DJ Beauty, you're so pretty, it's gonna work. I said, like, whatever, you know. I didn't care much back then because I didn't think that I will get bigger or something. I was just doing it and I didn't think about it. And then I became popular pretty fast. And then this video from Cousin Tip came out and I was like, oh my God, no, this is not what I want. I don't want to be DJ Beauty, getting wild on the decks and scream, and like the whole entire image was not me. Electronic music and art scene and this industry is still male dominated. Women will be always judged more than the man. It's because of the patriarchy. And it's simple as that, because the patriarchy exists for centuries. And to understand how it works, you really need to start reading the books, for example, something like Second Sex by Simone de Beauvoir. This is the one I'm reading right now. She explains very well how it started and how it works and why it's going to be like this still for a while. Now women are getting stronger and more independent, things are changing, but it's still not enough to change the whole entire thing. Being beautiful woman on the scene is the blessing and the curse. The blessing because it gives you attention, you know, people like you, they like your pictures, blah, blah, blah. But underground is not familiar with this kind of stuff. Like, I mean, the underground has always been like sweaty, brutal, you know, this like different, and I'm too polished for that. But this is just me, and I'm like that, and I'm not willing to change myself just to fit a certain format, you know, or certain niche, for example. A second thing that we are talking about is the prejudice. I face a lot of prejudice and towards me, and that's why I've been taking care of my reputation since day one. I say to myself, I'm not fucking around. I'm taking care of my reputation, so everything I get, everything I achieve is gonna be my personal achievement as an artist, as a person, not as a beautiful woman or pretty or whatever. Like, I'm not playing any games with any promoters and stuff, you know, like I really take it clear and like proper. Then you cannot tell me that I got booked here just because I was fucking with some promoters, you know, like, or like I was flirting with somebody. Like, I'm very strict to that. And that actually helped me to build my reputation. I think I'm that kind of a person that cannot shut up. Like, I'm not a silent person. I cannot stand when something is going wrong and nobody speaks out about it. Like, I know that speaking out and speaking up has a price. I feel it. Boycotting, ignoring, also like avoiding, you know, like I feel the price of me being vocal and loud about certain things. But in the same time, every time I do it, and I ask myself, Nastia, what will, if you would go back to that point when you did it, did you change your mind? Will you change your mind? And I feel like I cannot do that. You know, it just sticks here. And I just want to throw it out because I just cannot keep it inside. And for me, I would rather be unpopular and annoying and I don't know, whatever it is that people call me. But I will be true to myself and stick to my principles and values as well. You know, they're just saying what is important for me. People often ask me, like, how do I manage and handle hate, for example? And because I get a lot of disrespectful and hateful comments and stuff like that. And I've been going through psychotherapy, and my psychotherapist, she said, you know, Nastia, whatever people say, they say it about themselves. It's like everything that you say comes out of your mouth is a self-reflection. Like, it's what you have, what you see. Everything in the world is just like a mirror. So since she told me this, I read the messages and the comments, and I feel pity for those people because they speak not about me, but about themselves. It's totally, this is how ego speaks, you know. I think our society right now is quite open, and I see a lot of like a big range of different kind of difficult topics, and I love to see that, you know, the Me Too DJs, all of the scandals about what's going on the backstage, behind the scene, you know, and I think people feel more brave and educated to have these discussions, and I feel this is the future of the new generations, and I see it in my daughter as well. You know, they are much more educated, much more open, much more ready to discuss this kind of stuff, which is, I think, amazing. I think this will bring us to a healthier place. I think the speak out feels more scary than it is. Speaking out helps you. It's just a relief that you feel later. Like I did once speak out in my life, which really affected my profile. I don't think regretting is the thing, you know, like I never regret things because I consider everything as a part of my experience. It's the part of the process, how I learn and grow, you know. And then I was asking myself, would I handle it different, or like would I maybe not do it if I had an opportunity? And I feel this toxic energy inside of me that is eating myself from inside, and I cannot keep it inside. I think it's important to speak out because it's also about other people who will self-reflect on what you're saying, and they will find the truth in your words, even though most of the people will not understand you. But there will be the ones who you help and you encourage them to open up about their own traumas and blocks, you know, because we just need to speak. So I had this label called TECHNO Records, which I started in 2013. And then I was releasing this minimal house music. And then my sound was changing. I was like, it was developing and, you know, transforming. And at some point I felt like it will be not logical to continue and change the sound of the label. It will be easier to stop one label and to start a new label. That's why now it's TECHNO Records. And yeah, I started in the end of 2019, just before the pandemic. I think every success is a combination of factors and aspects. It's like anything you consider successful is many things, you know, right? A PR and music and quality of records, covers, collaborations, artists. It's a lot of things. And I think as more things, the quality things that you have on a label, it more valuable your label becomes and more popular because people appreciate seeing when you are investing in it, like making efforts and you really deliver a good quality. That's why all of our records are in a very like cool covers and like 180 grams. It's always pain in the ass. You know, I used to also do this inside out cuts, which are more expensive. It takes longer to actually cut them and wait for the delivery and production. I love this kind of stuff because it just makes things feel differently, you know. And I think it's because of that. People feel that we do it with passion. Sometimes I ask myself, why do I do this? Like two times since 2019, I thought I will close it, you know, like, and then I said to myself, no, I try again. Okay, one more time. And then once I say it to myself, then some people coming to help, you know, like this is like, I think it's also kind of the way that the universe is testing me. Like, are you willing to move forward? Like, even though it's hard. And then once I say, yes, okay, I'm going to do this anyway because I love it, then some help is coming on the way and it works. So 1.5 years ago, it was a very deep depression. I think it was a final chapter of my transformation. I felt like I lost everything. I have nothing. Everything that has been done before doesn't matter anymore. Like, and I was not feeling good about doing the same thing that I did already because I know I need to challenge myself. I need to grow and stuff like that. So then I was in a cross. And in the cross, I saw only two ways. One way is to quit and start something else, completely something else, or to move into and try, at least to try production, you know, music, making music and stuff like that. So I thought like, I have experience, why would I throw it out for nothing? Let's just go and try this way with music, and if it doesn't work, we can anytime leave and do something else. So I decided to study, and it was not my first attempt to try. I've been trying to study with different producers and friends and engineers, and it never worked out. But this time I thought like, okay, this is my last chance. If it's not gonna work, I'm giving up. And then the best idea I could get is I need a discipline, I need environment, I need proper teachers, I need everyday, you know, practice, I need students, like you know, mates around me who are on the same level doing the same thing. And that's, of course, I wanted to study in a school. So I started to Google what kind of options I have. There were a few options, but I chose Amsterdam Conservatory. They have electronic music school called AEMA. I love everything about this idea to be a student, to become a student, to live a normal student life, to have fun, to exchange. This really makes me feel excited. And I think this is the main thing in my life right now. Studying. This is my goal, like getting graduated from the school. You know, I tried, it's funny because this EP came out very naturally and not intentional at all. I was just making tracks in the studio. I was not thinking about any kind of a concept. I was just making whatever comes out and whatever sounds good quality. And then I used to like test it, try and play these tracks, and they are different for different kind of situation and moments, very different tracks. But at the same time, this is exactly how I love to release music from other people and how I've been releasing music from different artists. I like when the artists express themselves from different sides, you know, like I like this direction of techno, I like a little bit trance, I like a little bit like melodic. As far as all the tracks are sounding different, the better for the EP, because different kind of groups of the people can bite it, you know. I think the beauty of the life is exploring and discovering and pushing the borders, making your picture wider, and it's all about experience. Go where your fears are. There is your resource. I learned it, yeah. Whatever we fear, like if you want to do something, you have an idea, you have this crazy idea and you want to release it, to make it happen. And sometimes it's so exciting, it blocks you in because it's so scary. You need certain risks and efforts and you don't know if it's gonna work or not. This is the reaction of our mind, our brain. It defends the comfort zone, but nobody is growing in the comfort zone. So this is exactly what you need to do, the opposite. So whatever you are scared or you're fearing, you go and do it. Do your best to try. You have nothing to lose. Our life was given to us to have fun and explore and, you know, discover things and grow. So you will grow only going this way, and I think this is the best thing you can do to yourself.